All right, so once we're in the inside, you come up to your control panel up here and you can press the button just here. So when it's off completely, you do have to press and hold on this button just for a few seconds before all the lights will come on. But now that I've got it on, I can just press it once, and just by pressing it quickly is what this is. So that's what it says check, and then that just shows you your battery levels, your water levels, things like that. So now that I've pressed that, I can see the leisure battery, which is B2, is showing us 3/4 full. So the leisure battery is absolutely fine, really well charged, and we can go ahead and use sort of lights and things like that once you turn that stuff on. Let's press it again. It then also shows us that your fresh water tank has got 1/4 of a tank in it. All right, so you've got 1/4 of a tank of fresh water. If I press it again, it then shows you your engine battery voltage is up at maximum. All right, so that means that your engine battery is completely full, and that's that. So obviously that's exactly what you want, really. You want them to be up at there, so you know, anything above sort of like half and above would be perfect, really. But there you go. So once you got this on, if you have a hookup plugged into the vehicle, which is the bit that I showed you at the back, you'd have this little light here on, just telling you that the power's running through it and it's working. It also means that your charger is working, and if you press that check button with a hookup in, your leisure battery would be on 100%. Next we've got in and out. So probably quite a simple thing to grasp, but basically when you turn your in on, your inside lights will work. When you turn your out on, the awning light will work, etc. So having those two on there, like I said, just gives you access to using any of the lights inside or out. I'm not sure whether or not this one actually has an awning light or not. They don't always. Can't actually see it from here, but it may not even have one. But if it does, then that outside one there is the one that will be turning that on. The next one is your water pump switch. So turn that on, you can hear the pump just kick straight in. Come to your tap and then just pull the water through. So you want to do it on the cold side first. Make sure there's no air, which there is a little bit. That's gone. Go to the hot. And there you go. So pump will turn itself off. There you go. So doing that, turning that pump switch on, hearing the pump come on, and then just drawing the water through like that on hot and cold proves that the water is full in the boiler, and also that there's no sort of serious air in either of the cold or hot water system. So you need to do that before you start using your boiler and things like that. You do need to do that, because if you try and light your boiler up when it's empty, you know, it's going to sort of give you a world of trouble, basically. So yeah, there's a little switch just under there as well, just so you know that there's these lights just here, which are quite nice. Yeah, there's various switches for all the other lights, obviously all over the place, but that's where those ones are. Aux, generally speaking, is kind of like factory extras usually, but sometimes you'll find that if you've got any ignition anywhere, so like your ignition for your fridge down here, you might find that that won't work unless you have the aux on, but I'm not sure. You have to sort of work that stuff out, to be honest. It's all different. The different brands use aux for different things. Nearly every control panel will have an aux switch on it, but like I said, all the different, you know, if you had an auto trail, it might power something different. So it's just working that out. But sometimes you won't even need to turn that on. It's you know. But anyway, so once you've got your gas on in your cupboard outside, you can come through and obviously light up any three of these burners at the top. The three burners will be these ones at the back, and your your grill will be this one here, I believe. I can't quite. No, that was a lie. So actually, this one here is your grill. This is the only one I couldn't hear just then. And the grill obviously sits down there. So you do need an igniter of some sort to light any of these up. There's no specific ignition here, you know, on this cooker system, so you do need to have an igniter to use that. We sell them here at the shop, or you could just get one of the long reach sort of like candle lighters. They work quite well. But yeah, there you go. So next thing is your fridge. So it's a 3-way fridge. Sorry, it's a bit awkward to sit here and show you. So it works on 2 different ways on the electric, which is all this stuff over here, and obviously just the 1 way on the gas. So the way that you want to use it basically is you have to get the fridge cold first before driving away, either via the gas or the mains electric, which is this green one. So if we look inside, oh, this one hasn't got it actually. So let me just show you how to light it up basically. So if you want to use gas, which is probably the quickest way to get these fridges cold, gas turns on like that, push in and around, and basically just wait for it to light up. There you go. So the igniter's stopped. I've let go of that, and that fridge is now lit. If your ignition switch there is on and it's not flashing at you and it's not igniting, then it 9 times out of 10 means that your fridge is lit. You can, if you want to, go around to the back of the vehicle, and there'll be 2 fridge vents at the back. The top one, you can put your hand over the top right hand side of that vent, and you should be able to feel some heat coming out of it if it is lit. But like I said, just doing that and then seeing that the ignition switch there isn't actually flashing at you anymore tells you that it's lit. Like I said, the other way that you can get the fridge cold on its own is the mains switch here, the green one. That will obviously only work when your hookup cable's plugged in, but you know, because you've got 2 elements in the back of the fridges basically. You've got the 12 volt one, which is the red switch, and the bigger 240 volt one, which is the green switch. The way that you have to use the fridges is you either have to get the fridge cold before you drive off, you know, perhaps even the night before you go away. Usually is a good bet. Light the fridge up on gas, or with your hookup cable plugged in, switch it on the green switch, and then just literally switch it over to the red one just before you drive away. Because what happens is the 12 volt element there, the red one, isn't powerful enough to get the fridge cold by itself. Plus, it only works when your engine's physically running. So you have to get that fridge cold first before you drive away, because if you just start the engine up and drive somewhere for an hour on the red switch, it won't have changed inside, generally speaking. So the red switch just holds whatever temperature you already put into this. All right, so I'll turn this off now. So I'll literally just go off with the gas. Ignition switch comes back on flashing. Turn it off, and that's it. There is 2 little holes just here at the top of this fridge. So if I just show you what this does as well, let's say push that down, pushes this little button down. So you can, if you want to, if you're going to leave the fridge with nothing in it and you're not going to be using the van for a while, I would recommend popping it in this back hole just here. So if I show you, that's in the back hole, and you've actually still got a little gap at the back. And what that does is it stops any condensation, any mold, anything like that growing inside that fridge, because it leaves it to the air. If you are trying to get the fridge cold, then obviously you need to put it all the way across, and then you can lock it on the front switch, which leaves it completely sealed and will keep that cold temperature in. So, what else have we got then? It's covered down here. Got some gas isolators. So if I just read you off which ones they do, the top one there will be your external gas point outside, because that's been aftermarket fitted. You've then got your hobs at the top, the hob and grill. That second one down is the fridge. Third one is your space heater, and the bottom one is your boiler. So if you wanted to isolate any of those, you've got a little diagram there showing you how to do it, but just literally turn it 90 degrees and that'll isolate the gas. If you wanted to do that. A few extra bits and bobs in there. Okay, so the space heater is probably the next thing to show you. Again, this is via your gas, so your gas needs to be on for this. If I turn this top knob up here, straight away we're at sort of like 2 or 3. All right, that's where you want to start off, and you can hear. Let's see if I can show you. It's a bit awkward. There you go. So you can see the little igniter sparking in there, just about. So right now, all that I've done by turning that to 2 or 3 is just get the igniter going. All right. Now I'm going to push down on it, and you can see the igniter stopped and the pilot flame has kicked in. So I'm still holding this down. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift up on this and twist it round to about 6 or 7. So if you watch, I've lifted up, and because it's quite cold outside, it's already kicked in the main flame anyway, but I'm still going to turn it around to 6 or 7. And you can see there, main flame's kicked in and it's stayed on. If when you lift up and turn it around, that main flame kicks in, if it just dies out and goes out straight away and your igniter kicks back in, don't panic about that whatsoever. That's completely normal. All you have to do, you haven't got to turn back again. All you have to do is just push down again and the pilot flame will kick in. Wait for a few minutes, or sort of 10 seconds or so for it to warm up, lift up, and then just do that as many times as it takes for it to carry on without you having to do that. But speaking about this particular heater, I'm just speaking about them generally because they are, sometimes it does take a few goes to get it to stay on, but this one's just lit up first time. I've not lit this up before now, so you shouldn't really have a problem with this one. You've also got the fan setting on this one, so if you want to use the fan to pump the air around to any sort of circular vents that you've got around the van, there will be a few. There'll be one in the bathroom, there'll probably be one down there. Not sure where the other ones are, but if you did want to use the fan to sort of like disperse the heat a bit more evenly, push to the left on this bit at the front, and then you can see there at the back the little fan. If I just move that in that bit there, see at the back there the little sort of round fan. It literally just, essentially all it does really is instead of pumping all the air out through the front, it takes it out the back and sends it around to the pipes just to evenly distribute it wherever you want it, basically. So that's how you use the fan. I would also advise, if you're going to use this and use the fan, leave the fan running for 5 minutes or so once you've switched it off. If you've only had it on for a couple of minutes like me, like this, it doesn't really matter. Just make sure that flame's gone out, which it has. Turn your fan off, and that's it. That's your heating, nice and simple. If you want to use your boiler, you've got this little switch just here, and to be honest, it makes it quite nice. It makes a bit of a difference not having to explain, in real big detail how to use everything. It's all nice and simple in this fan, so it is a good thing, really. So if you want to light your boiler up on gas, literally all you have to do is select your temperature. So it's off at the moment. Obviously there's no flame down there whatsoever because it's on the little rocker switch is there at the 0, so it's not doing anything at all. If I want to light the boiler up on gas, I'll push up for 50. I just heard there, it's lit straight up, or down for 70. And it really is as simple as that. So after about half an hour or so, you have hot water coming out through your taps. After about even just 10 minutes, you will find that the water coming out your tap will be sort of like warm. But before it gets to that actual 50 degrees, it will be about half an hour, generally. So that's how you use that. The only thing I will point out with that is that you do need to make sure, double check, before using that your little vent cover is off outside. It's really important that you do that, because basically all that will happen is you'll try and light it and it won't work. But if it does light up, the exhaust hasn't really got anywhere to go and it can just be a bit messy. So just make sure that you take that off and bring it inside wherever you want to leave it before you try and light the boiler up here. Once you're done with it, back down to the middle, you hear a little sort of like clonk noise down there at the boiler. That's literally just the little thermostatic bit stopping the gas from coming through. So it's totally normal. Inside this cupboard, we've got absolutely loads of storage. A few bits of wiring over there, that's to do with your TV aerial and things. All of your paperwork that we have for the vehicle is in that big brown box there, which is what we do with all the vehicles basically. Various other bits and pieces really. Looks like a TV in there actually, which obviously we don't need, so we don't take them out. Yeah, okay, so that's the cupboard there. The bathroom. Again, it's a nice sized bathroom actually. Bearing in mind it's, you know, a really compact 6-metre vehicle. It's a nice, good sized bathroom. I don't feel like I need to show you anything in here apart from the toilet really, because that's, you know, the sink is the same as the kitchen sink. I'll point out to you how to use the... If I show you this window here, it kind of explains every window, to be honest, because they're all exactly the same. So if I just pull down on the top here, you see this is your fly screen, and that latches down onto this bottom part here. Squeeze these together, it releases it, and it'll go up on its own sort of pressure. The bottom one, squeeze these together, and then lift up, and it latches on the top. So you then have to squeeze these together again, just to release it that little bit, and then you can set this wherever you want. So if you want to have the window open, for example, I mean it's raining outside now, but you can use these in the rain. If you want to have your window open like that, but you don't really want to shut this completely, you can have that like that. Window's still wide open, but nobody can see in. Alright, so that's kind of the idea with that. But yeah, that's how you use the window. The toilet is just as simple. You've literally got a button here which pumps around your freshwater flush, and a lever on this side to drain it out. So now that you've gone to the toilet, it's all in there, you open this up, which drains it into the cassette, and then you close it back. And that is honestly it. It's as simple as that. You've got a shower screen sort of thing that goes around there to give you a little sort of separate shower to stop you from sort of getting all of this area wet. Although, just so you know, if it does get wet, it's not a problem at all. It's made to do it. It's all sealed up, it's all properly done. So if you get water all over this place, it's really not a problem at all. So that is that. What else is there? Obviously your bed up the top here is absolutely massive, and you have got the ladder to go onto these little rungs here. You've also got your sort of diner area here with the 4 belts. So these 2 down here are lap belts, but these ones here are the original. Well, I'm not sure if they were all originally fitted or not, I'm not sure. But these ones are the forward facing proper 3-point belts, and these ones are just lap belts. What else do we have? Anything else? What else? Just down there in front of the boiler, so the boiler sits underneath there. There's a little yellow lever, which is at the moment is in its laying down flat position. When you lift that up, it drains all the water out from inside the boiler onto the floor, which is what you want to do if you're going to leave the vehicle over winter, basically. And under this one is your freshwater tank. And if you did want to get inside that tank and drain it out, there's a bung inside. So you just have to take the cap off the top, reach in, pull the bung out. But generally speaking, if you did want to drain out your fresh tank, you can just draw it all through the tap, and it will just drain out through your waste, if that makes sense. So that's up to you. Other than that, I don't think there's much else to show you. Obviously the habitation engineer has been through here and done the entire hab check, made sure everything's working, so he's happy with all that. But yeah, once you finish with the vehicle, just go through here, turn all of these off, push and hold on this one until that goes down, and that's it. You're all good to go. Make sure that your gas is off before you start driving, and all your windows are shut, basically. Skylights down, windows shut, that kind of thing. But yeah, we've all driven this vehicle around here, and it's absolutely lovely to drive, so you shouldn't have any problems with that. But yeah, if there's anything else you think I've missed out or anything you want going over again, just let us know. But otherwise, we look forward to seeing you soon to collect your van. Thanks very much.